गुलाम सरवर साहब, 1992 से पहले महिलाएं गौरी शंकर श्रृंगार स्थल पर वो वहां पर पूजा अर्चना करती थी। एक शिवलिंग निकला है, ऐसा हिंदू पक्ष का दावा है ज्ञानवापी मस्जिद में, और वो भी जहां वजू किया जाता था, वजू खाने की जगह पर। अब इसका समाधान क्या है? इससे आगे कैसे बढ़ेंगे आपकी दृष्टि से?
बहुत बहुत बेहतरीन सवाल आपने किया। आप पहले ये समझिए कि जो कोर्ट कमिश्नर नियुक्त किए गए थे उनको ये
सर एक मिनट दीजिए, आपके ऑडियो वीडियो में जरा समस्या है, उसका हम समाधान तलाशते हैं, लेकिन तब तक सैयद अब्बास, you want to respond to this?
Yes, quickly, to what my good friend Aman said from the BJP, well, it is very clear he's quoted the subsection 3 and 4 and so on and so forth, but respected sir, let us leave the judgment to the lordships. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud will take a decision and call on this, whether this is a blatant violation of the lower court or not, or also the petitioners involved. Also, as a matter of fact, Gaurav साहब आपने एक सवाल पूछा था जिसका मैं जवाब देना चाहूंगा. Shivling being found, a Nandi bull being formed, and so on and so forth. Respected Sir Astha, definitely I completely agree with you front that we are a secular fabric of this nation, and we, all the residents of this country, being Hindu brothers or the Muslim brothers, need to respect the Astha. But also, as a matter of fact, like I said and like you quoted on the show, from the 1947 August 15, the Places of Worship Act comes through, the 1991 of the Nasima government. My question to the BJP is, if they are so serious about this, why don't they bring in the parliament in? They have the majority to let go of this act, bring an amendment or a resolution to the same. Because if 91 stands, and the Ayodhya judgment, the landmark judgment of Ayodhya being the Ram Janma Bhoomi and the Babri Masjid being the exception, how will they come through with this?
Theek. Aman Sinha, you want to respond to this? Aman Sinha, you want to respond to this? Will the Narendra Modi government, and since you have numbers both in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, will you change the 1991 Places of Worship Act? Because is this just about Kashi Vishwanath temple, or does it then extend to the Yogeshwar Shri Krishna Janmabhoomi at Mathura? Then does it also extend to Bhojshala in Madhya Pradesh? And then how many temples will this go to across the country, sir?
Well, Gaurav, first of all, as I mentioned to you, it's a historical fact that more than 40,000 temples have been demolished by Mughal and Islamic invaders. Now, as far as amendments to Places of Worship Act is concerned, let me tell you that for very good sound legal reasons, the constitutional validity of the Places of Worship Act 1991 is under judicial scrutiny by the Supreme Court of India, and there is a prohibition which is being enforced by this act, that even if there were any historical or historical wrongs or civilizational injustices, there is no redressal, no remedy to approach the courts of law, and therefore that is a clear bar, that's a clear embargo and a clear fetter on the fundamental rights of Indian citizens, and therefore the court is examining the constitutional validity. Let the court examine its constitutional validity. After it is examined, then a view will be taken what is required to be done. But on face of it, certainly
both
for large number of
and
reasons, it appears to be prima facie unconstitutional.
Aurangzeb demolished places of worship of Hindus. Even if we were to talk about Kashi Vishwanath and Mathura, the two centers after Ayodhya. Now, does this mean that Hindus don't have any access to remedy? पहले औरंगजेब अत्याचार करे और उसके बाद अपने ही देश में अपने ही कानून का आप सहारा ना ले सके, गुलाम सरवर साहब, कि आपको न्याय ना मिल सके, क्योंकि 1991 में कानून आ गया जिसके बाद हिंदुओं को न्याय नहीं मिलेगा अगर उनको काशी विश्वनाथ और मथुरा में प्रार्थना करनी है.
Gaurav Sahab, if I'm allowed to answer this, please. I
Go
don't
on,
think
sir.
Gulam sir was there.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Gaurav Sahab, आपका सवाल बिल्कुल लाजिम है, वाजिब है. Well, I am here in the 21st century. This happened in the 16th century. I, as an Indian today, to me, my constitution is supreme. And of course, the Asta of my Hindu brothers. But the fact of the matter, a Mughal ruler who came in the 16th century does not concern to me, sir. I am more bothered about the petrol price, diesel price, the LPG, the inflation in the country. I want jobs as a youth of this country. But the BJP will
So,
time
sir,
and
then why
again
have a
want to play
confrontation
this
on Kashi
card.
Vishwanath? Don't have a confrontation on Kashi Vishwanath. Don't have a
Sir,
confrontation on Mathura.
So, but that
Centuries of injustice cannot continue to be permitted for centuries to come.
But there is going to be a blatant violation. To me as an Indian, to me I might be a Hindu and Muslim later. But if a constitutional law and 1991 Act is being violated, I will speak, sir. And the constitution allows me to speak. But to me, what matters to me is education and
Abbas, that is the
unemployment
point.
which is
Which
being
provision
there.
of law
But
is
here,
being violated?
the BJP will play this card, sir. First, let me ask Amanji one small question. Why was the 91 Places of Worship Act came after the Ram Janmabhoomi and Babri Masjid, when two warring factions were fighting amongst each other to bring in communal harmony? But sir, isn't it again we are vouching on the same wounds? What is it going to lead to? You said, sir, there is going to be 40,000 temples.
Okay.
और कितना विवाद चाहेंगे आप?
So,
और
respond,
कितना
Aman
लड़ाई, और कितना
Sinha.
झगड़ा?
Respond.
Now,
Aman Sinha, is
since,
this
Abbas
just
has
restricted
dodged
after
upon this
Ayodhya to
question.
Kashi, Mathura?
Yes,
Or
sir.
does it extend to temples across the country?
No, first of all, as far as Places of Worship Act 91 is concerned, it was a complete knee-jerk reaction. There was no thinking behind this. There's no study by Law Commission or anything, any structured study which has gone behind that. And therefore, Supreme Court is compelled to examine the constitutional validity. Prima facie, it does appear that it militates against the constitutional provisions